Hello, everyone. In this tale, we dive into a world of shadows, danger, and unexpected love. Meet Detective John Black, a man who has dedicated his life to solving crimes, and Emma Stone, a woman caught in the middle of a mystery much bigger than herself. So, sit back and enjoy as we uncover the truth together in Shadow and Love. On a shining night in New York, the streets were as crowded as always. But in the dark, back streets of Brooklyn, there was a dangerous world hidden. Detective John Black had gotten used to living in this world. As one of the most successful detectives in the Homicide Bureau, he had spent years chasing crime. For him, life was just about cases to solve and criminals to catch. But tonight was different. John moved quickly when he heard gunshots in a dark street. When he arrived at the scene, a woman was standing next to a luxury car, trembling. The hem of her white dress was stained with blood, and her eyes were wide with fear. In front of her, a man was lying motionless. John approached carefully. "Raise your hands and stay calm," he said. The woman slowly looked up. Her eyes were the most beautiful but fragile eyes John had ever seen. I didn't do it," the woman whispered. "What's your name?" John asked carefully. "Emma," she replied, shaking. "Emma Stone." John knew this name. Emma was the daughter of a famous prosecutor, and now she was standing before him as the prime suspect in a murder. Emma sat nervously in the interrogation room. John wanted to believe she was innocent, but the evidence in his hand said otherwise. "Miss Stone, why were you there that night?" he asked. Emma took a deep breath. "That man was following me. I didn't know who he was. When I got into my car, I suddenly heard a gunshot. When I turned, he was lying on the ground." John frowned. Was someone trying to frame Emma? When they checked the security cameras, a shadowy figure was seen running away from the scene, but the face was unclear. Emma looked at the photos on the table. "You don't know me, but I'm the daughter of a prosecutor. My father had enemies. Maybe that's why I was targeted." John, an instinctive detective, began to feel that Emma might be innocent, but he needed proof. As John continued to investigate, Emma was placed under police protection. But late at night, during the guard's shift change, Emma's window opened. An assassin had entered. Emma jumped out of bed in fear. But at that moment, a shadow rushed in and neutralized the assassin. It was John. "We need to get out of here fast," John said, grabbing Emma by the arm. The two of them had to run through the streets of New York all night. Someone wanted to kill Emma, and John had sworn to protect her. After a while, they took refuge in a hotel room to catch their breath. Emma looked at John and asked, "Why do you believe me?" John avoided her gaze. "Because I don't think you're guilty, but we need to find proof." Emma narrowed her eyes. "If you believe me, why can I hear your heart beating?" John paused for a moment. This woman was making him face feelings he had never known. But these feelings were dangerous, because if a detective falls in love with a suspect, everything is at risk. John and Emma began following the trail of the case. When they checked the camera recordings and phone signals, they noticed a mysterious number had sent a message to Emma's phone a few days ago. The message simply said, "They want you. Run." The number belonged to Emma's father's old friend, Jack Turner. But Jack had disappeared a few days ago. When John and Emma went to an old warehouse where Jack might be hiding, they found him lying on the ground in a pool of blood. But before he died, he left a note. "Look at Prosecutor Stone's files. His enemies want you now." John took a deep breath. This case was deeper than he thought. And Emma was not just a target, she was the key. John went to speak with Emma's father. Prosecutor Stone had been tracking the mafia for years, and he had learned one of their biggest secrets. Emma looked at her father through tears. "Why didn't you protect me?" The prosecutor looked away. "I thought I could protect you, but these people will stop at nothing." Just then, gunshots were heard. The mafia had raided the building. John quickly pulled Emma behind a wall. Drawing his gun, he fired. In the chaos, Prosecutor Stone was shot and fell to the ground. "Emma, run," her father said, covered in blood. But Emma didn't run. That night, she lost her father, and John made a promise to her that night. "I will find those who did this, I swear." A few weeks later, John and his team found the name behind the attack, Mark Davis. Mark had been the head of the underworld in New York for years, but no one could catch him. But John, along with Emma, cornered him. One night, they raided Mark's hideout and arrested him. Now Emma was safe, but her heart was still broken. Standing at her father's grave, John walked up to her. "Justice has been served," John said. Emma turned to him. "But there's a void inside me." John sighed. Then he took Emma's hands. This time, she didn't pull away. "The only way to fill a void is to rebuild something," he said. Emma looked at him. "Are you willing to rebuild with me?" John smiled gently. "I've already started." And that night, in the dark streets of New York, there were traces of not only crime, but also love. Thank you for listening, Shadow and Love. I hope you enjoyed the story of Detective John Black and Emma Stone. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories. See you next time.